What's going on YouTube? This your boy Just Making It TV. I'm back with another one, man. And I want y'all to like, share, comment, and subscribe, man. Today we got a DJ Vlad interview, man, with Charlemagne the God. And today is gonna be breaking down and explaining why he's asking him a question about him being a culture vulture. Okay, now me personally, I don't after seeing this new side of Vlad lately and really kind of explaining, hearing his side of the story and hearing, his clarity about certain things in this hip hop culture and in this hip hop space. I've learned a lot watching him and watching his interviews. Now, I just want to see, is he really a culture vulture? I mean, me personally, I don't believe so, but like I said, we're gonna check out this new format that Vlad is doing, and we're gonna see, we're gonna get everybody's opinion on it and see what's going on. See if this may change your opinions on Vlad, or if you still want to ride out and believe that he's a culture vulture. I don't, but I think everybody that's interviewing Vlad now, with him being on the other side of the camera, I think this is going a long way in proving that he's not a culture vulture and he's actually bringing us into his portion of what he's bringing us, us as viewers, and we're learning a lot about the man behind the craft. So without further ado, let's get into Vlad and Charlemagne's conversation. This is Just Make It TV. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
You've been accused of exploiting black culture for profit. How do you respond to people who call you a culture vulture?
I think every white person is called a culture vulture in hip hop, including Eminem, including Leo Cohen, including Steve Rifkin, including everybody. So to me, it's just another thing to say. But I think when people really know who I am, like you know who I am, and know about my family, and know about what I'm like off camera, I don't think anyone would actually say that.
Do you think you'd have the same platform if you were black?
Very sure, very true comment. I think once you peel through the layers of Vlad and you see, um, his perspective on things and see how he handles certain situations. And we all make mistakes. He's not perfect, but I think by watching him and watching what he does and figuring out where he fits in this hip hop culture, because he does fit. We got to stop thinking that just because a man is of another ethnicity that he may not fit. Sometimes they fit, sometimes they don't. But the key to things is to try. Nothing fails but to try out there, fellas. So let's get back to it.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Because you've seen so many black people come after me with similar types of platforms that have done great. Look at Sean Cotton. Look at Gillian Wallow. Look at Nori. Now, they don't.
Shout out to Sean Cotton and Nori, man. Wallow and Cameron, man, over here doing big things out here. Listen, I inspire to be like each and every one of them brothers one of these days. Listen, we're going to grow together in this YouTube space for sure.
They don't do exactly what I do, but I think it's overall in the same vein. We talk to a lot of the same people. We ask. They don't do exactly what I do, but I think it's overall in the same vein. We talk to a lot of the same people. We ask history, but at the end of the day, who doesn't have trauma? Who doesn't have trauma in their life? Name one person who's had a life devoid of trauma.
Very true. Listen, and we all got it. We all got that trauma, no matter what kind of trauma it may be.
Nobody.
Yeah.
You, me, my cameraman, your security.
And I think that we all need to get it out some way, form, or fashion, whether it's Vlad TV or anywhere we choose to go. I think if as long as we get our story out and people get a chance to see us as individuals and as normal people.
We've all had traumatic experiences. And at the end of the day, sharing those traumatic experiences is something that we do in our regular lives anyway. Now, have I ever ambushed somebody? Like for example, like I was talking about, with D. Ray Davis, right? Friend of mine. And there was an interview where he talked action or even bringing this up, but at the end of the day, this is his truth. This is something, that he's talked about before, and he didn't have a problem with it, but other people have more of a problem than the actual people that I'm interviewing. And that's okay.
Some people might say you had somebody ambushed though.
Who?
Remember when Tariq Nasheed walked in on What was the dude's name? I can't remember his name.
Tommy
now.
Sotomayor.
Tommy Sotomayor.
We've
Yep.
talked about this. And Tariq is coming back on my show. I've talked to both him and Tommy about it. Now, Tommy still thinks there's some weird conspiracy theory about it, but I did not have
Which, if you know anything about Tommy Sotomayor, listen, shout out to him. I started watching his channels back in the day, but I had to stop. Now, if you know why I had to stop, I mean, listen, if you fuck with Tommy Sotomayor, you know you got to give him a little bit of a break. Sisters will start looking at you some type of way for listening to him. And I mean, I put it like this, not so much that the sisters was looking at me, but this is my thing. He's just really, he's a certain type of way. And I mean, look, some people rock with it, some people don't. I'm black. I do to a certain extent. But listen, I had to grow up and listen. The world ain't like that. So, you know, if you fuck with Tommy Sotomayor, you know what Vlad is talking about. He's a conspiracy theorist sort of type of kind of brother. He's really professional. He's really great at what he does. I like him still, but in a professional capacity, not as an individual that I would probably go out and have a drink with or smoke a blunt with. No.
ambush. What had happened was I interviewed Tariq, and then people in the comments were like, oh, you should interview Tommy. I had no idea there was a beef between these two. It wasn't in my notes. Like, I think after I interviewed Tariq, I released the whole Tommy interview. You got to see the whole interview. Tommy was the one that was mentioning Tariq. And when he mentioned it, I just went on to the next topic. It wasn't even a talking point. Now, the thing is that Tommy was doing an interview at the same location that Tariq was doing it, and Tommy was on social media saying, I'm about to do Vlad TV today. I just drove down. About to do Vlad TV. Go down to Vlad TV studios. Now, Tariq is watching this, and Tommy, I think, had talked some shit about his daughter or something like that. So, you know, Tariq took it upon himself.
Which is pretty fucking crazy. So in this YouTube space, people do get offended, and people do offend a lot of people with their words by talking. And listen, that forces some individuals to pull up. I am not the pulling up type. I'm not going to be getting into it with an individual because I know how far I'm going to take it. I'm not going to be playing like that. But, you know, in Vlad's defense, it was not a setup. It was some shit that, you know, like I said, Tariq Nasheed took it upon himself because he remembered the location. Listen, you can't chalk that up to an individual trying to set you up if they remember the location. All right, now, I mean, Tommy Sotomayor is his own individual. He could think whatever he wants. I'm pretty sure he does think that it was a conspiracy setup. But I mean, listen, we got to take it for Vlad's face value, straight up. Listen, hear from the camel's mouth. It wasn't. It was not a setup, and I thoroughly believe it.
Himself to confront him, unfortunately, in the actual interview as opposed to waiting outside for him, and that's what happened. But I did not plan for Tariq to come there. And in fact, me and Tariq really had beef for years over that situation. Because that's
Really?
how the setup. Yeah, no, me and him just recently. Because here's the thing, like, I didn't realize. I saw an interview where basically Tariq said, "Oh, Vlad knew my beef with Tommy, and he purposely brought him in to aggravate the situation." And I'm like, oh, that's what he thought? So I got on the phone with him. We had a conversation. I said, I had no idea you guys had beef. I'm going to release the interview, and you'll see for yourself. I never even brought your name up. He knew that Tommy was coming. It was the same studio.
Shout out to Vlad on that outfit, bro. That shit is clean as hell.
He showed up. Yeah, nothing happened. There was no fight. It was just a bunch of grown men arguing in each other's faces. I think Tariq brought him like a Coon Award or something, a Coon Train Award or something, which, you know, Tommy,
I remember that. Yeah, the
Tommy
Coon,
left that.
Which is fucking crazy. I mean, but that's Tariq Nasheed's snick, is to throw you a coon award train or something. If you fucking disrespect him, you're a coon. If you disrespect him, I mean, I'm not the disrespectful type, so I'm probably not gonna be disrespecting Tariq Nasheed no time soon. I don't be needing no damn coon award trays. I don't think I'm a coon at all. But you know, shout out to Vlad and Charlemagne for this.
That, but no, I absolutely did not set him up. And the only person who's claiming that is Tommy, which at the end of the day is just false. I've always said this, and I have the proof to show for it.
Would you ever pull an interview if you thought it might like hurt somebody's life?
Would I pull it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you done that?
I haven't
Great question by Charlemagne, man. Great question.
had a reason to at this point. No.
You built the platform.
But hold on, but I will. Let me just answer that question. I have had people do interviews, afterwards say, can you take this part out? And I've always said yes. Always said yes.
Which is respectful, and I think he's being very righteous in the way for the culture. I mean, if an individual has a part of that interview that they don't want out, I mean, I think Vlad does his due diligence with taking certain things out. Now, should it lead to a problem or an issue where security got to come in? Probably not, but to each his own.
Especially if the interview hasn't come out yet.
So content isn't king for you.
No, because it's long term. Like, one clip doesn't change things. Like, for example, like, I'm not going to say who, but there is a well-known Atlanta artist. When we did the interview, he appeared like he was just high out of his mind. Like, he did the interview, he was sweating, he was like nodding off. It was a mess. It was like an absolute mess. And after about 20 minutes, his people were like, hey, interview's just not going to happen today. Is that okay? I'm like, that's cool. We redid the interview at a later point, but I never released that first interview, even though it would have gone super viral, because here's this known Atlanta artist literally sweating in an air-conditioned room, barely able to get his words out. It would have gone super viral, but I never put it out. And he even was like worried about that, and when I talked to him, I said, I got you. I'm not going to put it out. But I never put it out. No one will ever see it. So this is me.
If you had to admit one time where you crossed the line for views, what moment would it be? Because we've all been there.
I mean, look, the whole Joe Budden ransom situation where I posted the video of that guy getting smacked, by ransoms people on his front porch. I think that kind of crossed the line. This was very early in my career. This is kind of like one of the first hip-hop viral moments, and kind of caused a rift between me and Joe Budden, because I'd interviewed Joe not too long before that. At the end of the day, the dude that got slapped wasn't even Joe Budden. It was like a friend of his, and so forth. And I think in that case, I probably would have looked at that, like the 2025 Vlad, the 52-year-old Vlad, would have looked at that and said, yeah, I'm not going to put that up. Like, for example, like Taxstone, right? During his trial, he wanted to do an interview. He's like, look, the jury is told not to watch the media, but they watch the media.
Absolutely.
Right? And doing an interview would be a way to get his story out without taking the stand. But from my point of view, I said, you're probably right, but this interview was probably going to be used in the trial. And if you got convicted and I knew I had a part in it, it would break my heart. So I just told him I'm not going to do the interview. And I remember Tax felt a certain type of way about it. He wasn't mad, but he was, you could...
Shout out to Charlamagne and Vlad for doing the interview, for just making it TV, man. Look, this is some crazy stuff, man. Do y'all think that Vlad is a culture vulture? Like I said, I don't. I think he has a lot of valid points, and he is really passionate about what he does by either putting stuff out that's either negative to some artists or some YouTubers or not. I think by him hearing everybody's side and going about it accordingly, he's definitely earned his space in hip hop culture, man. So look, this is just making it TV. I'd like for everybody to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Listen, I got more content coming over the weekend, so keep an eye out for that. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.